So I mean, yeah, I'm gonna miss Double O too. He told us before we even started the show. He got into the chat and left us a message. I mean, how awesome is that? Before we even start, he has a good reason. He'll catch the rewind because this is where he's gonna be. He's checking out Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's cool.
So I mean, Double O, I am excited for you, and f you, Double O, not being here for our show. F
Yeah,
you, and
I
you're a
feel.
great
I
fan.
feel.
We appreciate you. Just kidding. Don't. But no, it's always sad when you don't have your fan that's here every week that participates in the comments. So we're hoping someone picks up the slack. If not, you can do the slack at the end of the video or whenever you watch it anytime.
Yeah, just ask questions, Double O, and answer them. That's what I do. That's my role on this whole thing. I just say, I don't know, Double O.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's so much easier than having like we need a third or fourth person on the show so they can do all the research. Like when I listen to like talk radio, it's like, hey, Owen, go do that, and it's like that's their job. It's the facts say that, da, 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 and then they you never hear from them.
I mean, Joe Rogan's got the Jamie guy that he's always like, hey, good night. I don't even listen to Joe Rogan very much, but I'm always like, man, that would be a fun job to have, just to look up the thing that they're talking about and throw it on the screen. Like,
oh yeah,
that's what we need. We need a Jamie. We'll have tryouts.
So guys, we're gonna hit our show. We're gonna do it fast. I know more than likely, if you're even watching the show, then that means you're planning on going to see Doctor Strange eventually. Because if you care this much about comics to watch a Thursday night podcast, then you definitely are probably lining up your Doctor Strange watching party. I sadly have a little one at home, so it's hard to choose my times and when I get to go slip out for 3 hours to go watch a movie. So don't spoil it in the comments or anything. But
it's only 2 hours running time.
Oh, okay. So you spoiled that for me. Now I was so anticipating 3 hours.
2 in credit scenes. I got the lowdown from Cardinal. He went to see it today right after school got out because he didn't want to be spoiled because he teaches high school and the high schoolers just destroyed anything that he was hoping to go through with Spider-Man. It was just like once they walked in the door, it was over, and he was like, "Man!" So he beat them all. He was like, "Nope."
But it's always a weird balance, Joe, from our perspective, because at least for mine, because of the speculation side. You want to know like that character's in it or this character actually was in it, because if your book is listed for $10 and then you find out some character and all of a sudden overnight that book goes for $100 and you just sold yours for 10, it's great to make $10, but you could have made 100 the next day. That's always the fine line you end up playing when you play the spec game. So since we're semi-spec based, some of the stuff, it's always like that tricky. I always read just enough to know when I should raise the price of a book or pull a book or any of that type of stuff. So
I don't have enough books to do that, man. not that I'm willing to part with.
Yeah, that's my it's always tricky. Like usually I have to buy a book intending to sell it. Like if it's something that's sentimental, even though I know it's gonna be worth something. Yeah. If I care,
my wife would kill me if she said I didn't have enough books to sell. She heard me say that, but
it's on camera.
Yeah. Sorry, baby. I do have a lot of books to sell. Anyway, let's go. What's up next week?
So, yeah, guys, this next week's fire, in my opinion. There's just it's frustrating how many good covers, maybe good books, but really good covers are coming out next week, and we'll jump into each one of them. I mean, I had to put fire labels on all 3 of these, and there's more. There's a hidden one behind it. Hopefully, you'll be able to identify by the end of the show the one cover that I'm hiding from everyone because it's so effing scary. That you don't really want to stare at it too long, but it's awesome as well. So let's go back and let's look at last week. I did a lot of hunting last week, but I actually didn't really make the shop, our LCS that we normally hit up. But this Jock cover is on fire. It was on fire from the second we saw it.
Yeah, we knew.
It's a 1 for 50 that's going for 100, 150. Gorgeous cover. It's the best of the foils that I've seen that Jock's done.
100. Like the other ones are fine. This one is perfect.
Yeah, it's just really staying with Batman here. You got the 1 for 25 second print foil variant that I see recent sales in the $75, $80 range. One right now is in an auction that's going for like 61, but it's in an auction, so he'll probably end up settling around 75. Just 1 for 25 second prints of a great cover. People are going to want it. And then the one in the center is one we didn't even talk about last week. That was really it was a personal decision because I wanted to make sure I got it for my shop. I probably should have said something because I wasn't able to get it anyways. I called my shop 20 minutes after it opened because they don't do this entire call ahead. You can't call the day before, you call the day of, which I appreciate for incentives. But either it was already gone or the person behind the counter was a new person and she didn't know what the book was, which was also very frustrating. I was able to
She is pretty new. I was there last week, and they were still training her on stuff, and she was asking like pretty normal questions that most. She's very young too, so.
And I was excited, and I was like, she goes, "Wait, maybe I'll put that on the shelf." I was like, "Oh crap, I need to get to the store." And then she goes, "I can't find anything that you're talking about." Like I described the cover. And it wasn't there. And I was like, okay, fine. I mean, it didn't surprise me. Some indie spotlights had highlighted this book as being a book to grab. Like, damn it. Yeah. Whenever two people highlight it, it's always going to be gone.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate because you have every other, like, Once and Future 1 for 25 for the last, like, how many in a row?
I think almost half since, like, 13. There's a 1 or 2 in there that I've missed. But I did get the one per store, which is like a black and white version of a Del Mundo cover, which is gorgeous. Nice. So I was able to pick. I had to go to a different LCS. They still had it the next day. I was like, oh, I can pay $15 just to make sure I have one of them. It's only going for $15. So it's not like a hot because every store got one. If you ordered like 5 copies, you got this. So, but yeah, that's this last week. Let's jump into this week because there are some really gorgeous books that I want to talk about. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, from the second cover A's cover got released, I've been anticipating this book.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been interested in, well, I've been curious, but I haven't been interested in any of these Black, White, and Blood books. The Wolverine didn't interest me too much. The Elektra, the Hughes cover sort of did. I actually picked up the Sync, I think, for that. But
yeah. The deal with these is like it's mostly for the art crowd, right? Like it's the artists, it's the people who dig on the black and white. And the thing with the Batman books that do that is, man, they get top talent every single book. Oh, yeah. It's Cliff Chang. Oh, it's Mitch Gerrits. I mean, it's these people that are going to knock it out of the park, and you've got 2 or 3 stories in every one that are just amazing. Maybe there's 1 or 2 that's fine.
Yeah.
But those Batman books sell like crazy. So of course they're going to try it with other characters. I mean, I just do the same thing, and I look up there and see what the talent they got, and it's got our boy Fornes on it. And I'm
not even showing that cover. That's
right. But I'm going to go grab that cover A. I know there's more stuff, but it's a Sync cover doing Moon Knight. It's perfect in every way.
Oh yeah.
So that book will get me to the shop.
Then you throw in for the speculator crowd. They're starting to figure out they have they're all those short mini stories, and the artist gets to do whatever the heck they want, and the writer gets to sort of create these Moon Knight stories, but they don't have to have it fit anywhere in continuity. So supposedly in this Moon Knight issue 1, there's a Moon Knight story that has the Moon Knight 6,000 years, whatever the last Moon Knight, basically. As we found out that Moon Knight is not a unique thing. He's an avatar for multiple different years and iterations, which I do appreciate the show back that up. That's sort of cool too.
Kind of like the Iron Fist. You know that Iron Fist run where there's so many of the Iron Fists that go back through time.
Oh yeah,
I love that. That alone sounds awesome.
Yeah, and supposedly he's on one of the covers, not the 3 that I chose, but because I think it's the Bachelot cover, Chris Bachelot. But here in the center is the 1 for 50 Decal. Gorgeous. Decals.
Yeah, it's amazing.
CBSI just did a little our top 10 Decal covers, and I didn't even throw in like my 50 that I have that I when I collect. And Decal's one of those guys who doesn't get enough love, though he's starting. Some of his harder to find stuff is. Yeah. And this is Stan Sakai, or however you say his name.
I think Sakai.
The Deadpool one that he did took off, but that also had a first appearance in it, and it's a 1 for 25. So definitely, if you haven't already, I think the 1 for 25s and 1 for 50s are already climbing so it might be too late. But it's always better to get them on Thursday than it is to get them on Tuesday. So
right. Boom.
No real reason to put this other here than I'm gonna leave cover that you can get in trouble for because it's like freaking suicide here.
Right. It's a Suicide Squad. You know,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that Malieve is amazing. The Fornays is also amazing.
Yeah, it's just a good covers, guys. I haven't read the series. The black labels are always tricky. They're sometimes really good, but I'm not a fan of the magazine size strictly for storage.
Yeah, same.
So I mean,
but now I have so many of them that maybe I could start storing them. I mean, I just keep them on a bookshelf.
Yeah,
bagged and boarded basically, but they've been some of my favorite things.
There's been some really good stories. It's just sometimes it's hard when you know there's no they're never going to connect to continuity. So it's like sometimes you like that. Sometimes
I don't think we're going to see the Batwing.
Yeah,
anywhere else than Black Label.
So. Grimm #1. I think we told you guys 2 weeks ago, or whenever Alice Ever After came out, Happily Unlovely, whatever it was. Yep. In the back of that had a preview of Grimm #1, like the first 5 pages. So art's okay. I checked out. The art was not bad. There are so many covers, guys. You got one for 50s, one for 75s, one for 100s, one for stores.
Yeah.
Joe, you said your favorite is Jay Lee.
Yeah.
Which is here on the left.
Almost always the Jay Lee is going to be my favorite if there's a Jay Lee.
Yeah, there's also a black and white of this too.
Yeah, that's what you said. I don't love his interiors anymore so much. But just a little bit of a cover, even if it just looks like another Wolverine cover that he did, that's fine with me. Still like it.
He's definitely figured out his style, his look. And so and I can always appreciate. I mean, so is Frisson. I mean, every one of Frisson's covers. This could be the Sandman cover from 2 weeks ago, practically.
Right. Yeah.
Both are gorgeous. And then I feel like it's either I can't remember. I wish I'd written the name. Either
it looks like Christian Ward to me. There's a little bit of misproportion going on in the elbow and arm, and he does that stuff on purpose.
Yeah, I like the Christian Ward, and then the unlockable variant here. I mean, they're all freaking good covers. I will try to pick up some of these covers.
Nice.
This one caught me off guard.
Me too.
I was flipping through Midtown today, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" This is Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer. I remember. Do you remember that series that came out back in the mid 2000s?
Yeah.
They're just basically all it was almost like old Frazetta paintings. They just decided to make a comic around.
Yeah, and I have some of his stuff. Even some like sequential stuff that's great. It's probably worth something, but I got it for nothing back in the when we first jumped back in. And you said that you read a little bit more about this, and they're maybe building.
Supposedly, they're building a Frazetta world, is what the solicitation said. Opus Comics. Never heard the label. Don't know anything about it, but they know how to get your eye because of course they do the classic Frazetta Death Dealer image over here on the right. But then they went and got Dan however you say his name, Passon. Yeah. I think he does a 1 for 25 and a 1 for 5, 1 for 10, 1 for 20, and 1 for 30. I think are the 3 covers. So this Delato in the center is a 1 for 30 Virgin, and there's also a trade. The Delato is ridiculously good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then you said Sync is doing 2?
Yeah, when I first saw this today, I was like, oh, they got to get Sync to do one, right? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. And #1 doesn't have one.
Yeah.
But #2, and you got to go look it up right after the show's over because it is fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, why would it not be, right? This character drawn by Sync, it's great. It glows red. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think I saw maybe Listener was doing one. Maybe like you pick your favorite artist that you would pick for a Death Dealer cover, and they've reached out and tried to get them.
Yeah,
I mean
that's smart. They got me.
Yeah, a book that we don't have a lot of interest in, but it's a #1 issue. You got to show the Frisson cover. I do like. I mean, it's weird, but it's also Frisson, so you're all the fans. So basically, from what I've read, what if everyone got one wish by a bunch of genies? So that's why it's called 8 billion genies. Everyone gets one wish. One thing I do like is there's a 1 for 10 and this 1 for 50 over here on the right. It's evidently, I feel like they're images from TV show Genies. So like this cat, I mean, I didn't watch the show, but it might be the Sabrina cat from the TV show with Melissa Joan Hart. Like that might be who that is. I don't know that there's some dude on the cover for the 1 for 10 incentive. As far as spec value go, the book could be amazing. I just haven't read it. It didn't really excite me. The name of the title doesn't make me, especially when you compare it to Grimm and Death Dealers and everything.
I feel like this is this week's Twig.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh, this is cute.
Notice how we didn't have any of that being on the top 3 books from last week.
When there are so many, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, that's me. All right.
Maybe.
They made me buy a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book when they did the same thing, Last Ronin.
But I'm hoping that they actually have all 4 or all 5 of these books written.
Nah, it's going to be 2030 by the time you get to the end of this.
Well, from what I understand, this is also the last Transformers series IDW is doing.
Oh, did they lose all of their?
They lost Hasbro and they lost Star Wars.
Nice.
So like, there a lot of their GI Joe, I think finishes up like 300 or so.
Yeah.
So they've lost all that stuff. So it is sort of cool that they're doing that. Man, but I really wish the center book that's the 1 for 10 was not the 1 for 10.
Yeah.
Maybe all the favorites people, but man, it's just not as good as the other 2 covers.
Yeah, it's definitely got a different vibe.
And there's also, I think, 2 other covers but there's only one incentive.
Yeah. I like the A and then the one on the right a lot.
Yeah, I really did the Milan.
Yeah. That's another one that I was hoping Bill Sienkiewicz would do, just because it was like, oh, it's Transformers. Yeah. No? Okay.
No. Jumping into maybe something. This is Banner of War is a one-shot that kicks off a Thor/Hulk crossover. Cates is writing both books, so it's sort of, he doesn't have to work with anyone. He just himself to come up with a crossover. It'll be. I don't know. I haven't been reading Hulk. I haven't been reading Thor enough to know anything that's going on.
Yeah, and there's about 6 or 7 covers, and this was the only one that I thought was.
Yeah, this is Stegman. This is the 1 for 25. Yeah, 1 for 25.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the only cover I liked. I didn't like any of the other covers at all.
No, they seemed like what they should be.
Yeah.
So we've seen it a million times. This one kind of stuck out. It's the white cover again, like the white background. We both love that.
Yeah. Center here is Batman the Knight. I picked up. I've read the first 3 issues or whatever of this book. Guys, if you haven't read, go buy. This is a compendium, however you say it. It's the first 3 issues, so it's not a full trade. They did this for Dark Knights of Steel as well. It's just sort of, I think it's sort of a novel idea. I don't know how many copies. It's almost like the Marvel must-haves from back in the early 2000s.
Right.
But I love this story. I think I have like now 4 copies of issue 2.
Oh yeah.
I really do believe in that cat burglar character that he gets trained by.
Mm.
And then we go, who's this Henry Ducard character? And like, I need to go get his first appearance because he's awesome in the one time you meet him in the book.
Yeah. How much is Ducard's first appearance?
I haven't looked up the price, but it's like issue like $5.99 or $4.99 from Batman. Or no, maybe I had to do the research again.
I don't know. I haven't looked. It is good. I mean, it's Chip.
Yeah,
it's a good team up. I was excited about it, when it was first coming out, and I think I was right. It's good.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I really liked the last issue a lot.
I don't know if I read the last one. I read is that where he's the first year of his training? At Monastery?
Yeah. It's got a very like Avatar: The Last Airbender / Iron Fist feel to it. Yeah,
and that's where you get to meet the origin story of Ghostmaker starts to happen in there too.
Yeah,
so it's very cool.
Bunny Mask.
Bunny Mask, just because it's 1 for 15 and it's Albuquerque.
Yeah, that's great.
People had a lot of buzz on the first one and then nothing. So I don't take it away. It's a great cover. So if you're into the art, it's worth picking up.
Andrea Moody is pretty good, or however you say his name.
Yeah.
I like his stuff a lot.
Horror stuff is always so tricky when it comes to, like, I have a metal version of issue 1 that I got because I was part of a ECGC group, and it was pretty cool. But like, as far as it's not my cup of tea, even though there's some really gorgeous covers for this book.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird and gorgeous covers that are going to be worth absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
They are our style of book.
Yeah.
So this is just a random stupid cover that they're doing for Marvel, where they're doing these postcards. There's this one. I think the Thor book has a postcard as well for go visit Latvia or whatever, where Bavaria, however you say that. But this one's just struck me. I was like, oh, dude, he's freaking Madripoor, and Wolverine's just kick some foot soldiers or hand or whatever.
Yeah. It's it takes me back to 1994.
Oh yeah.
When I was reading that Larry Hama run, and you're in and out of Madripoor, man. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that book.
I don't even know. And I think there actually is something that happens in X-Men 11, but it's like some team. It's or Game World or something. So it's one of those like weird.
They're still. Yeah, I've picked up a bunch of the X-Men of this run. Yeah. I've got like the first 3 because Pepe Larza did the interiors, and I really like his work. And then I skipped like 3 because it was some different artist, and I picked up number 7, and so it makes sense that I would just randomly pick up number 11 too. And then this Rossmo, man,
it's just fun.
I used to be on the fence about him, like when he was doing Hellblazer or that John Constantine. I did not like that, and I was like, man, I'm over this guy.
Yeah.
And then he consistently is like warming back up into my heart. Like, this is awesome. I don't even care about Plastic Man, but
yeah, it's just
I love this.
It's just the creativity in designing this type of cover, thinking through like how to manipulate his body into every letter.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's great. And the urban legends, I've read like, I think I picked up 3 or 4 of them, and they're just sort of fun. There's little stories in them. There's sometimes worth reading. They're worth reading now. The price tag's hard. I think they're all like $7.99.
Yeah, that's why I haven't picked any of them up, but I keep hoping to run into them at a.
Yeah, well, that's where I picked up. I picked up all mine at used bookstore for $2 each.
Yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
cool.
More covers we like. Now this Raza cover for Blood Syndicate. If you're a Milestone person, go for it. But it's also just Raza. This is a cover that's 1 for $25. Freaking amazing fire. The Raza does fire better, as good as anyone out there. Yeah, it's already sold out at Midtown. It's going to be a $50, $60 book easy. Raza fans just love it, but then you throw in everyone that's excited about the Milestone books coming out.
Yeah, is everything coming back?
Yeah, they've already done Static. They've done Icon and Rocket. I think they, of course, now they're doing Blood Syndicate. I can't remember what the other one was. There's one more, Livewire maybe. I think they've already done that one as well. So I think this is the last of this. Of all of them.
Cool.
And this has the original guys who wrote it. He helped write it again. This one too.
Oh, cool.
So, yes, I'm showing you a Walking Dead Deluxe. But I'm showing this to you because Stephen Platt is alive. Evidently still doing art. I know he's done some here, but Platt's one of those weird guys that, like, people that like it love it. And so they try to.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm one of those guys. Yeah, I wish I had all those Moon Knights that he did.
Oh, well, that's a little bit different because the value on those things is just ridiculous.
I know, but I also just really like them.
But what about Prophet? Did you go pick up all like 1 through 7 of Prophet or whatever?
Yeah, duh. He only started in 5. Oh, okay. It's 5 through 9. But who knows that shit? Just me. Yeah, it's really good. I think it's 5 through 9. 00, you can tell us if I'm right or wrong. Yeah. But those Prophet books are just insane. It's a Jeff Darrow like understanding of detail, which I never want to make art that way, but it blows my mind that somebody else does. Like these zombies feel like Stephen Platt to me.
Yeah. Well, that's all Dave and Craig did help with it. So it's like, okay, which piece is which? And I mean, like most Platt stuff, someone has to finish it off because it takes them so long.
Yeah. This cap looks pretty great.
Yeah, Copiel, I mean, sometimes when he does it right, it's just right. I mean, yeah. And this is a 1 for $50 incentive. I don't know anything about the book. Cap is never, certain books take off for him, but if you're usually, I mean, it's probably going to be worth $50, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I love his work. So
yeah, he has some amazing covers.
Yeah.
The book that's been hiding behind the screen the entire time you've been watching the show, guys, Sandman Universe Nightmare Country 2. There's a 1 for $25 and then a 1 for $50 Matina foil for this cover. Don't think it'll do the Frisson type value, just because Matina's, outside of a few of his really early variants, never really do that. But I can see this thing is freaking scary gorgeous.
Yeah.
I can see this being $7,500 book.
It's got some Batman 880.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Detective 880 stuff going on, and you're like, oh, this is Joker. Oh, no, it's not. God.
Yeah. Did you pick up? I didn't read the issue. Did you pick up the first issue?
I picked it up. I flipped through it. I kind of felt like this is not the book for me.
Yeah.
But I would have bought that Sync cover, but I didn't see it. It was. They pretty much had everything else but that. So I feel like all our friends named Mike came and picked them all up.
Yeah, and Sync's one of those guys. First and Sync fans, they pick up every time there's a cover. So
yeah.
This Halicon Legacy, I picked up the first issue. I honestly think there's probably a little speck in every issue because it's all basically stories that happened on the ship Halicon, or however you say it. So you're getting these little stories. So there's like flashbacks. So, and this looks like a Ventress story happens in this book. I like this cover. There aren't too many great Ventress covers out there. So if she ever makes an appearance actually in the shows outside of the cartoons, I think this could have potential, but it's not an incentive or anything. So stupidity on the right here, but it's Daniel Warren Johnson.
Fire.
It's that weird,
he's
stupid
great.
idea, but it's a great cover.
Yeah. Well, I think he's writing it at least, so it'll and maybe doing the pencils.
Well, he goes from Beta Ray Bill, where he draws basically the same story. Now it's just gonna be Dinosaur.
I read that. I read the Beta Ray Bill. Did you read it?
I did not.
It was fun. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't good, but it was fun, And that I think that screams this as well.
Yeah.
But his whole thing is energy, man. He's got like manga style.
Didn't he do Murder Falcon? Was that him?
Yes.
I think
maybe. I don't know. It looks similar. If it's not him, it's somebody like in the same vein.
Yeah.
Here's your.
So last week, guys, I highlighted a book I got at the store that evidently was also coming out. It looks like the second book Midtown has up, so maybe my store will have it as well. Past the Last Mountain. I do want to check it out. I enjoyed it. It's worth reading the second book, and also I like some of these small publishers. I like to give some public just to let people know about it. You can go to their website and order these books too.
Cool.
So just CEX Publishing. If you Google it, you can go to their website. They have them available as well. Or if you're a small shop, you can order a dealer packs. Scorched.
X-Men #1.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the only reason I have it here. I mean, we don't highlight enough of the Spawn books just because neither one of us are Spawn readers. For at least hardcore. So, but this is a great. I like this cover, and I'm not even that diehard X-Men #1 either. I just like for some reason this cover.
There were 8 million of us who are, so
I don't know if they're all gone because I keep finding X-Men #1s in dollar bins and quarter bins and 50-cent bins. So they're actually
for the next 8 million who are going to give it a second life.
Those genies are going to take them, and everyone's going to make a wish.
Yeah.
But
Jones's first one was good.
The first one I enjoyed. I like the stories from the AWA that take place in the Resistance world. So like this Resistance is where a disease happens, half population dies, other populations are enamored with gifts, and they all have different superpowers. So you had one called Telepaths, and some have how do they survive as telepaths, and then you have one called the Joneses, and this is all just basically a story of a family that all have superpowers. So like how do they hide, or should they hide? And that's the conflicts that they go through as they're trying to figure out how to navigate a world that hates all the people with these powers.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to Axel for like basically orchestrating his own version of like everything. Basically, is coming, and I mean, I don't feel like it's taken off yet.
No,
but those of us who have read some of it and liked it, like, it's good stories.
Knighted was good. Erratic, I loved Erratic. That was really good by Kari Andrews.
Kari Andrews, yeah. Oh, you'd be proud of me. I read some Kari Andrews Spider-Man this week.
Oh, Rain?
Yeah, I read Rain and Doc Octopus Year One.
Nice.
Yeah, Yeah, Spider-Man for me. That's weird, huh? Cool.
All right.
What else you got?
Now, of course, you're going through the incentive variants, throwing up the Batgirls. This is Ryan Gonzalez. Unique style. Either you like it or you don't. I know Double O likes the style, so I threw it up there. But also, yeah, Batgirl in a swimsuit. Doesn't matter. So for some people, that matters. I do know that I have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 10 sells. Ryan Gonzalez, 1 for 25. None of the other ones do because it has a cute girl on it. That one sells.
And
it's like, it's not like it's super sexy. It's just that cover sells because it's the Pink Ranger. And it sells for $40.
Nice.
I mean, it's just like, why does that one sell? And the rest of them you can buy for $5. Like 1 for 25. It's just that it's weird things like that happen a lot. So I read a few issues of crossover, but didn't really get into it. Did you ever read through
it? No. It's the Donny Cates. Like he turns me off with all his work out. You know, his marketing skills are amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I hate them. So no, I read the first like 3, I think.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'll buy the trade when I see it for cheap. And then I saw him post where he had made Donny Cates a character in crossover. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, that's so self-indulgent. Like, and that, you know, that's kind of always been his thing.
Yeah.
He's like wanted to be the Ryan Adams of the like comic industry. So I was
people that are diehard Ryan Adams fans, if you don't know who,
like me,
musically he's amazing, but he's so confident in his amazingness.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's all sorts of stories if you Google him about how much of a jerk he can be on stage. He's walked out of concerts after a song.
Yeah, I've seen him I saw him 3 times one summer. One show in Kentucky, amazing. And then he comes to Tennessee, which is where we are, and he hates Tennessee. He played his set of 11 songs and walked off. He paid for 2.5 hours in Kentucky. He just hates Tennessee. And I was like, man, this guy sucks.
Isn't Tennessee where he, someone said,
I love him.
Play Summer of '69, and he got, because that's Bryan Adams.
Right.
And he got mad and walked off the stage.
Mm-hmm. But I think of Paul Pope as the Ryan Adams of comics, really. They kind of look the same with their stupid long hair, and they're like punks who play in country bands. Yeah. Anyway, more comic books.
Finally, throwing up the Miles Morales Hulk books. I haven't read any of these 3. This is the 3rd one.
Is this the last one?
And I don't know. It depends on if they're successful. I mean, they might go back through and make them every X-Men character, or they'll start the Miles verse, like the Gwen verse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's supposedly, because I think there was just originally 3. There was
that's all I had seen, but
yeah, it was Cap, Wolverine, and Hulk.
I love Miles Morales.
Yeah,
he's my Spider-Man, actually. Like,
yeah, I'm a big fan, and then everything that's going on with the actual book, like I'm loving, like this dimension hopping and stuff. And 38, I think, comes out next week or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I know you've been. Did you catch up?
I've read through. Yeah, actually, I'm ready.
Did you catch up on Black Panther?
Nope.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching. That's our show. These books are legit fire. Like, if you can find them for cover, this is the one for 25 for some, but there's a one for 75 or one for 100, I think, as well. The Decal's gorgeous. The Raza is already probably all these are almost out of my price range, mainly because I'm cheap.
Right.
I will rather wait 3 weeks to see if they die down. Now, granted, you can miss out on like the Sandman Country, but it also could have paid
or that Jock.
Yeah, or the Jock.
Like I was like, we'll see what it does. Maybe it'll come down.
And it very well can come down.
Because all the others have kind of like plateaued big time. Nah. This one's like so.
But as you like what you see, comments, likes, tell us what you think, subscribe. Thanks for being here, guys. See ya.